When you're standing face to face with failure, it feels like the end. The air is heavier. People look at you differently. Some walk away, and others pretend they never believed in you in the first place. That's when doubt creeps in, not just about your goal, but about yourself. It tells you you're not good enough. It whispers, maybe this isn't for you. And that's the moment most people quit. But let me tell you something. Failure isn't the enemy. It's your teacher. And if you're willing to listen, it will show you the way to greatness. I've failed in front of millions. I've been written off by experts, mocked by the media, betrayed by people I trusted. I've fallen so many times that staying on the ground started to feel normal. But every single time I reminded myself, this is not the end, unless I accept it as the end. You only truly fail when you quit. Until then, you're just in the middle of your story. You see, success is not a straight line. It's messy, it's painful, it's lonely. And the more ambitious your dream is, the more resistance you're going to face. That's not a sign you're on the wrong path. It's proof that you're on a meaningful one. The universe doesn't hand out big rewards for small effort. It tests you. It asks, how badly do you want this? And your answer can't be spoken. It has to be proven in action. Proven in how you rise after falling. Proven in how you keep showing up when nothing is working. There were moments when I was so close to quitting, I could taste it. The weight of disappointment, the exhaustion of being misunderstood, the silence of support. It can weigh you down. But deep down, I always remembered this. No setback has the power to define you unless you give it that power. You're not finished just because you failed. You're forged in those moments. That's where resilience is born. You can't develop strength without resistance. You can't grow without pressure. If everything came easy, you'd never discover what you're truly made of. And let me tell you, what you're made of is far greater than you think. You have no idea how powerful you can be until you're forced to dig deep and find that strength. But you'll never uncover that if you quit at the first sign of struggle. And look, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It won't be. There will be days when you'll question yourself. Days when the results don't show up. When people stop believing in you. When the finish line feels like it's getting further away instead of closer. And that's when the voice inside will start saying, what's the point? That's your test. That's your moment. Because if you can push through that, if you can keep going when everything around you says stop, you separate yourself from the rest. Most people give up because they mistake temporary failure for permanent defeat. But those who rise, the ones who achieve something extraordinary, they're the ones who kept moving forward even when it hurt, even when they were laughed at, even when they were alone. Your pain has a purpose. Your struggle is shaping you. Your setbacks are preparing you. But only if you stay in the fight, only if you refuse to quit. So don't look at failure as the end. Look at it as the beginning of something far more powerful. The beginning of the version of you that doesn't back down, that doesn't fold under pressure, that doesn't give up just because the path got harder. You're closer than you think. So take a deep breath, lift your head and take that next step. Even if it's small, even if it's shaky, because as long as you're moving forward, you're not finished. Just remember, don't quit. The world will always have something to say about who you are and what you're capable of. From the moment you step outside your comfort zone, there will be voices telling you it's impossible. that you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not connected enough. And sometimes those voices are loud, not just from outside, but from within. That inner doubt, it can be louder than a stadium full of critics. But let me tell you something that changed everything for me. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. And once you do, no one can stop you. When I started, people thought I was delusional. They laughed, they rolled their eyes, they predicted failure before I even took my first real step. And I don't blame them, because what I was chasing wasn't normal. It wasn't convenient. It wasn't easy. But I wasn't waiting for their approval. I wasn't interested in fitting into their idea of what's realistic. I had a vision, and that vision demanded a level of belief that most people couldn't understand. That's the kind of belief you need. The kind that doesn't shrink in the face of doubt. The kind that grows stronger when challenged. You have to understand something. Belief isn't just about thinking you might succeed. It's about knowing deep in your bones that you will. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually, if you stay the course, that's the energy you need to carry with you when doors are closing, when people walk away, when the results aren't showing. That's when belief becomes your fuel. You can't fake it. You can't borrow it. It has to come from within. And here's the truth. Belief doesn't come from comfort. It comes from struggle, from falling and getting up, from hearing 100 no's and still pushing forward like the yes is just around the corner. The more you endure, the stronger your self-belief becomes. Because every time you survive what was meant to break you, you realize what you're capable of. And when that realization sets in, something shifts. You stop asking for permission to dream. You stop needing validation. You stop waiting for someone to recognize your worth because you already know it. This world rewards those who are bold enough to back themselves. You want to achieve something great? You want to do something that hasn't been done before? Then be prepared to walk alone for a while. Be prepared to carry that vision by yourself, especially in the beginning. Because most people can't see what you see. And that's okay. It's not their job to see it. It's yours to build it. And don't think belief means you'll never doubt again. No, doubt shows up in everyone's journey. The difference is whether you listen to it, whether you give it a seat at your table. When doubt comes knocking, let your belief be louder. Let it remind you why you started, how far you've come, and who you're becoming. That voice inside, the one that tells you keep going when everything else says quit, that's the one you listen to. I'm telling you right now, you are capable of far more than you know. But no one's going to hand it to you. You've got to take it. And the first step to doing that is believing you can. Not halfway, not when it's easy, not when others cheer for you, but especially when it's quiet and you're the only one clapping. That's when belief matters most. So stop looking around for someone to validate your dream. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to begin. You are already enough. You are already ready. All you need now is the courage to back yourself fully, unapologetically, and without hesitation. Because when you believe in yourself, truly believe, there is no force on earth that can hold you back. Everyone wants success. Everyone. But the truth is, most people don't want the process that comes with it. They want the glory, not the grind. They want the reward, not the repetition. But the ones who actually make it, the ones who truly rise, are the ones who understand this. Consistency is more powerful than talent, louder than hype, and more important than motivation. That's where greatness is built. Not in the big moments, but in the small, often invisible ones, repeated day after day. There were so many days when I didn't feel like continuing. Days when everything felt stuck. No momentum, no breakthrough, no applause, just effort, silent, unseen, and exhausting. That's the part no one talks about. The early mornings, the late nights, the sacrifices, the discipline to keep going when there's no external reward. That's a real battleground, because anyone can show up when they feel inspired, but champions show up when they don't. When it's boring, when it's frustrating, when it hurts. That's what separates those who dream from those who do. You have to be willing to show up on the days you don't feel like it. You have to be able to repeat your process even when the results are slow, even when your progress feels invisible. Because real progress is often silent. It happens deep beneath the surface before it ever shows up in public. Most people quit right before things start to change because they're addicted to quick results. But consistency, that quiet, relentless persistence, is what makes the impossible inevitable. Think about this. If you train once a month, you'll stay the same. If you train once a week, maybe you improve slowly. But if you train every single day, even just a little, how can you not change? That applies to everything. Your body, your mind, your mission. Whatever you do consistently, you become. So the question is not, do you want it? The question is, can you stay with it long enough to earn it? I've seen people with more talent, more resources, more support than I ever had, but they lacked consistency. They started strong, but they faded. They had bursts of brilliance, but no rhythm. And then I've seen others who had less of everything, except hunger, except discipline. They kept showing up, kept pushing, kept adjusting, and in the end, they won. Not because they were the best on paper, but because they never stopped showing up. Consistency beat talent every time. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing glamorous about doing the same thing over and over again with discipline. It's not exciting. It's not Instagram worthy, but that's where success is born. You won't always feel motivated, and you shouldn't rely on it. Motivation is like a spark. It comes and goes. But consistency is the fire you build and feed daily, no matter how small the flame. That's how you stay in the game when others drop out. There will be setbacks. There will be plateaus. There will be moments when it seems like nothing is working, but those are not signs to stop. They're signs to keep going, to double down. Because most people quit in frustration, not because they failed, but because they didn't stay long enough to see the result of their effort. And that's the real tragedy. Not lack of potential, but lack of patience. So I'm asking you, can you be consistent even when no one's watching? Can you do the work when it's hard, when it's thankless, when it's quiet? Because if you can stay the course, build the habits, show up daily, you become unstoppable. That's not just a belief, that's a fact. Time respects consistency, and so does success. So whatever you're chasing, keep going. Even when it's slow, even when it's hard. Because consistency is what turns effort into legacy. When you're chasing something big, really big, it can't just be about you. If your dream only serves your ego, it will collapse the moment you face real adversity. Because when things get hard, and they will get hard, your comfort won't be enough to carry you through. You need something deeper, something bigger, You need purpose. That's what gives your struggle meaning. That's what gives your journey direction. That's what gives your life power. You see, purpose is the reason you don't quit when you have every excuse to. It's the fire that burns underneath the fatigue, the reason behind every sacrifice you make. When your mission is bigger than you, when it's tied to helping others, to building something that matters, suddenly every obstacle becomes fuel. Every setback becomes a test you're willing to face, because now it's not just about your success, it's about what your success can do. There were times when I asked myself, why am I doing this? When nothing seemed to work, when every door felt shut, when moving forward felt like pushing through a storm. And in those moments, I didn't rely on motivation or applause. I reminded myself of the purpose, the people depending on me, the difference I wanted to make, the legacy I wanted to leave. And that changed everything. Because when your why is strong enough, the how doesn't break you. You don't fold under pressure. You rise through it. This world will tell you to chase money, fame, comfort, but those things are temporary. They fade. They leave you empty. Purpose, though, purpose gives you a reason to wake up and fight. It makes the pain worth it. It turns your suffering into service, your struggle into strength. When you attach your work to a mission bigger than your own gain, you unlock a part of yourself that's stronger than fear, stronger than doubt, stronger than... Ask yourself, who are you doing this for? Who gets better because you don't quit? Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your community. Maybe it's someone watching you silently learning what resilience looks like. That's what you have to keep in your heart. That's what keeps your feet moving when your mind says stop. And don't think you have to be famous or powerful to live with purpose. You don't. Every act of effort done with meaning is powerful. Showing up for your kids, giving your best at work, building something with integrity, that's purpose. That's impact. It's not about the size of the stage, it's about the strength of the mission. Once you find that purpose, protect it. Don't let it be diluted by distractions. Don't trade it for comfort or convenience. Let it guide your decisions, your energy, your path. Because when your actions are rooted in purpose, even the smallest steps move you forward in the right direction. And when the weight of life tries to bring you down, it's that purpose that lifts you back up. That's what drives the long game. Not short-term hype, not external praise, but internal meaning. And here's the beautiful thing. When you lead with purpose, success follows. Maybe not immediately, maybe not in the way you imagined, but it comes. Because purpose makes you resilient, it makes you focused, it makes you magnetic. People feel it, they see it in how you carry yourself and how you keep going when others stop. So don't just chase success, chase meaning. Build something that matters. Connect your journey to something greater than yourself, because when you live with purpose, you live with power. There comes a point in every journey when the noise around you gets loud, really loud. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks they know better. You'll hear voices telling you to slow down, to quit, to play it safe. Some will criticize your every move, while others will try to flatter you into complacency. And if you're not careful, you'll start listening. You'll start questioning your instincts, doubting your direction, second-guessing your decision. That's when you lose your way. Not because you're not capable, but because you let the noise drown out your focus. The world is full of distractions. Some come as negativity, people trying to bring you down because your ambition makes them uncomfortable. Others come disguised as support. Well-meaning voices pushing you off course because they can't see what you see. Either way, the result is the same. You lose clarity. And without clarity, you drift. You react instead of lead. You hesitate instead of act. And slowly, your dream slips further away. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. You don't need everyone's approval to move forward. You don't need to explain your vision to people who were never meant to carry it. You don't owe anyone your attention if it costs you your peace. Not everyone will understand what you're building, and that's okay. They're not supposed to. It's your dream, not theirs. So protect your mind. Guard your focus like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. There were times I was surrounded by criticism, by distractions, by chaos. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone had a better way. And for a moment, I almost listened. I almost let their noise steer me away from my mission. But then I realized, if I start chasing their approval, I'll lose what made me different in the first place. I wasn't here to please people. I was here to fulfill a purpose. And that purpose doesn't come with shortcuts or applause. It comes with silence, with discipline, with tunnel vision. You've got to learn to block it all out. Not because you're arrogant, but because you're focused. Because your time and energy are limited, and you can't afford to waste them on things that don't move you forward. Stay locked in on your mission. Let the noise pass by like wind against a mountain. Be still. Be grounded. Stay aligned with your values, your vision, and your reason for starting in the first place. And this doesn't mean you close yourself off from growth. It doesn't mean you ignore feedback or shut out wisdom. But there's a difference between feedback and noise. Feedback builds you, noise distracts you. Feedback comes from people who understand your direction. Noise comes from those who don't even know your destination. Learn to tell the difference. Listen with wisdom, not insecurity. Every time you feel pulled off track, ask yourself, is this helping me move forward? Is this aligned with my mission? If the answer is no, let it go. Don't argue. Don't explain. Just refocus. Your energy is too valuable to waste on trying to prove yourself to people who've already decided they won't understand you. You won't reach your destination if you stop at every distraction. You won't find peace if you keep trying to please everyone. The world will always be noisy. The opinions will never stop. But your job is not to silence the world. It's to silence the doubt inside you. Once you do that, the external noise loses its power. You become immune to it, not because it disappears, but because it no longer controls your direction. So protect your focus. Guard it with everything you've got. Because the clearer your focus, the louder your impact. There's something people don't talk about enough when they speak of success, and that's pain. Real pain. The kind that knocks the wind out of you, that leaves you questioning everything, that makes quitting feel like the easiest way out. Everyone wants the victory, but no one wants to feel the weight of the journey. And yet, it's that very pain, those dark, heavy moments that shape who you become. You don't grow when everything is easy. You grow when you're tested, when you're broken, and when you decide to rise anyway. Pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's the part of the process that refines you, sharpens you, strips away the unnecessary, and forces you to find out what you're really made of. I've gone through moments where it felt like the world was against me. Nothing was working. Everything I tried failed. People turned their backs, and the pain of that wasn't just physical, it was emotional, deep. But what I learned is that you can't run from it. You can't numb it. You can't hide. You face it. You feel every part of it, and then you let it fuel you. You have to be willing to embrace that pain and make it part of your strength. Every scar, every disappointment, every loss, it's not the end. It's preparation. Preparation for the bigger challenges, for the real breakthroughs, for the moment when it's your time. If you can endure the pain, you can handle the pressure that comes with success. Because pain gives you depth, it gives you wisdom, it gives you resilience. People who've never been through pain might shine for a moment, but they don't last. Because the first time things fall apart, they fall with it. But those who've been through the fire, they're different. They're unshakable. They've already survived what others fear. So when setbacks come, they don't panic. They don't fold. They remember what they've already overcome. That memory becomes a source of power. It tells them, you've been through worse, you can get through this too. Don't wish for an easy life. Easy never builds anything worth keeping. Wish for the strength to carry the load you've been given. Wish for the endurance to keep walking even when the road is full of pain. Because that pain is the birthplace of greatness. That pain gives you the story that others will one day draw strength from. The world doesn't need more people who've never failed. It needs more people who failed and refused to give up, who took the hit, learned the lesson, and came back stronger. You have to learn to sit with your pain, not as a victim, but as a warrior. Let it teach you what comfort never could. Let it show you where your true strength lives. You might be hurting now. You might feel like the mountain is too high, the weight is too much. But I promise you, if you keep moving, if you refuse to let the pain break you, there will come a day when you look back and realize that pain was the reason you became powerful. Nothing you go through is wasted. Not the heartbreak, not the betrayal, not the failure. It's all part of the foundation you're building. You are being shaped by something greater. And the more pain you endure, the more capacity you develop. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you unstoppable. Not that you avoided pain, but that you mastered it. So when the pain comes, don't run from it. So when the pain comes, don't run from it. Don't hide. So now you've heard it all. The struggle, the silence, the setbacks, the fire. You've heard what it really takes. The discipline to keep going when it's thankless. The courage to walk alone when no one believes. The strength to get up when life knocks you down. And the heart to keep your purpose burning no matter how cold the world gets. This journey isn't for the weak. It's not for those chasing comfort. It's for those who choose to rise again and again, because something inside them refuses to quit.